was Verne Gagne like when the houses started falling?
Oh, he was panicking. He was panicking, and you could be on this. You see it through your paychecks. So you could be in the same spot on the card and have the same crowd, same amount of people, and your paycheck would be half as much as it was the time before for the same. And then the next time even less. It was just we always question it, like why? We're in the same position, we're middle of the card, same amount of people, sometimes even a little more, but we got less. Jesus Christ, you kids are always causing trouble. I see he didn't answer nobody. He called us the misfits of wrestling because he had now he was left with me and Shawn, who were new, basically, still we're a year and a half in the business. But we were getting over as the Midnight Rockers. I mean, we were doing new stuff. Remember, the Rock and Roll Express did a couple combination things. I think they did like a drop down, drop kick, and maybe a gut shot knee lift combination thing. And so Shawn and I had seen some tapes of that and thought, that's cool, man. Let's do some stuff like that. Started coming up with quite a bit more, actually. We had a whole bunch of new things. So we were very innovative, I believe, and people enjoyed it. The style was different, it was new. And the pace was a lot faster. A little more high energy than the rest of the people out there. So we were getting over. So with us getting over and Verne not really wanting us, these young punks getting over, that was frustrating. We had Buddy.
Were you ever told to slow down or anything like that by Verne?
Not by Verne, no. As far as in the ring.
In the ring, yeah.
Not that I don't recall. If we were, I don't remember. I think he might have said slow down after the matches and what you do afterwards. But I don't. He may have. If he did, I don't remember. Because it sounds disrespectful, but I was back then. I didn't really think a whole lot of Verne because of the way he handled things. He was really rude to everybody. I understand it now because the man was losing his business, his company. But then I came in and just seen that things were just, as far as I could see, he still had a good product, and he was so mean to everybody, so I didn't really have much respect for him. And two, he was an egomaniac, which not a big deal, but just coupled in with the way he was treating people, I just didn't think much of it. So a lot of times when he was talking to me, he was just, I didn't hear it. He was talking to me like, okay, hope you just call me a fag because I'm disagreeing. Yeah. But what were we saying?
You're talking about the stuff that you and Shawn were coming up with, the double teams.
Oh yeah. We were getting old. Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. Buddy was a partier, and he was what everybody called a locker room lawyer because he always that's what the guy just hated. It was you got to stop listening to them locker room lawyers. Buddy Rose is a locker room lawyer. But basically, he was just telling us because we didn't know stuff. Buddy had been around. Buddy was very knowledgeable. And he would be telling us about these. Hey, look, your payoff should have been this or that. You hire on the card and more people, and you get. Now he just would bring stuff to our attention that made sense. And for that, they didn't like him. It was like he was smartening up the rest of the guys. They didn't like that. Called them locker room lawyers. We had him and Doug Summers. Doug was a good guy. I don't think that there was anything wrong with Doug other than the fact that he was tagging with Buddy. So Buddy was a locker room lawyer, so Doug was guilty by association. We had Jimmy Snuka was in there, and Jimmy's the greatest guy in the world, by the way. There's not a bad thing you can say about Jimmy. But Verne probably didn't see it that way. Verne probably seen that here was a guy that was at the top of WWF, and now he's here with me. So he's probably looking at like, something's wrong somewhere with this guy. Who else? He had Colonel De Beers. Ed Wiskowski was another great guy. It was a great group, man. It was like a sinking ship, and we all were on it. So we had to buddy up with each other. Curt Hennig, of course, was Curt and Scott were there. It was great. But Verne, that crew right there, his name off Verne and DJ Peterson finally came in, which was great. We all partied really hard. Me, DJ, Shawn, Curt, Scott. We were known for being out, and especially around Minneapolis, man, just partying around the clubs there. I got a reputation real quick. Actually, it was a place called Jukebox Saturday Night, I think it was called. Whenever we were going there so much, that wrestling was huge in Minneapolis. fans they were packing out the place. I mean, they were giving us everything for free, our drinks or whatever we wanted, because they knew when we came in, the place was going to pick up. But so we were getting a reputation around town as partiers and all that. So Verne called us his misfits of wrestling. Jesus Christ, I got every misfit in the business. You guys over here, you just tearing up the bars. You guys got no respect. You guys over here, locker room lawyers. He just, called everybody something. He just didn't. And so, that was, and that also made us want to, rebel more, because he was telling us that. We'll show you misfit. Pat Tanaka was him and Curt and some of the guys were always ribbing. The ribs were great there. That was some of the fun times that I think I saw. The video of Shawn, or was it Shawn? Somebody was talking about the lock. We got to the lock phase. That was Curt's idea. Curt was the guy. Like when we did shows in the high schools, gymnasium. The dressing room, the men's or the boys' dressing room, or the girls, whatever. You got all the little master locks and all that thing. Well, Curt showed us that if you go around and look at every one of them, there's going to be one or two hanging open. So you take them off. And then if you go pull on every one of them, one or two are going to pull open. Even they look closed. So, I mean, we'd always get 6, 8 locks from every dressing room. And if we didn't use them that night, we stockpiled to the next night. We'd have 15, 20 locks. And, I mean, everything used to get locked up. Guys' bags would get locked to, like pipes. They're going across the top of the ceiling. Their gear would have locks on them. There would be locks. I mean, just anything that could be locked was locked. And it got so bad. There was a guy called Silo Sam. He was in that Pee Wee Herman movie. Remember the tall dude who was running down the street? He was like, they brought him in to be the Battle Royal King. And he was, I like him all. He was kind of goofy. And Curt Hennig was like, we got to do something about this guy. So the Battle Royal this one night, and like I say, this is what his specialty, And going along with about 10, 15 of us in Battle Royal, and all of a sudden I hear Curt just laughing his ass off. This is during the Battle Royal. I'm looking over him. I know he's done something goofy. What'd you do? Look at Silo. Look over Silo, and he's got a loop in his little. He has these big overhaul things. There's like a loop, I guess, where the hammer or whatever go. It's locked to the top rope, and he's and everybody come over and just started chopping the hell out of him. He couldn't shoot out there, beating the hell out of him. And then the Battle Royal, everybody's out. He's locked. I mean, he's locked, and the fans just laughing because he's stuck to the rope. They had to go get a guy, the janitor there to get lock cutters to get him out of the ring. He was there for 15 minutes to the top rope. And that was when Verne had enough. Verne called a meeting about that one. He said, Jesus Christ, guys, the locks. No more locks. We got schools calling, the girls' basketball teams' outfits are all locked to the ceiling and they can't get in. There's locks on everything. And one other real quick, one of the funniest ones that Curt, man, was the man. We'd had a big problem. I say a big problem. We used to cut up at the studio where we did our interviews for the towns. Verne Gagne was kind of, he got under everybody's skin. So you'd have the pencils that he'd be writing off as soon as you do your interview, he'd scratch it off or whatever. Shawn or one of us or both of us, as soon as Greg would go back and we'll look over, rewind the tape real quick and see how it went. Take the pencil off. This is a silly thing, but we was just bored too. We'd be there all day. Take the pencil back and Greg come in and, all right, guys, there's no pencil. I son of a bitch, he needs to leave. He'll come back with another pencil. He'll write something off, go and check the film, take that pencil, and he'd come back. He's looking. It took him about 2 or 3 pencils before he figured out the hell is Jesus Christ, guys, are y'all messing with me? Don't be much. And so he'd go get another pencil. We ended up got about 8 of them. I mean, because he started taking them with him. He finally figured out don't leave it laying. And but I remember somewhere along the lines we got a pencil sharpener and sharpened down every one of them to just enough. We had about 8 or 9 pencils just did a thing. And he went to look at the tape and laid them all back on the table for him. He comes back and he goes crazy. Damn it! I said, I'm telling Dad, I ain't thinking this no more. So runs and has a word with his father about the pencils being sharpened down. And so his dad wants to have a meeting and about the ribs, he has enough of ribs. Curt Hennig is coming, he comes out of, we got to go to this one little officer meeting. Curt comes out of the bathroom, the men's bathroom, and he's laughing like hell. And I'm like, what? What'd you do? He's like, go in there looking in the toilet far end. So now Curt got my ass on this too, but he got, first of all, I'll go in there and see what the hell. Nick Bockwinkel, who was, the world champion, and Nick Nick's a good guy, super guy, cool guy, but he just was in a bad position because he was like the buffer guy for Vince, he had to stand in and represent, and the rebels didn't want somebody representing them. So, Nick was always like Mr. Boss and teaching and telling everybody what they had to do and this, that, and the other. So anyway, going this last stall, and there's a picture, 8x10 promotional picture, which is Nick with his pose with the belt, laying in the top of it, just floating there on the toilet with his shit right on top of it. I mean, all you could see was the turd, and then right underneath his name said Nick Bockwinkel. And I'm sitting there laughing like hell. And I go open the door, walk out, and there's Nick standing there. Oh shit! And then I heard Curt down all laughing. Curt sent him after. He goes, Marty's in there. Goes, I don't know what he's doing. Go check. So Nick looked at me. He said, what have you done? I haven't done anything. I took off running. And then he goes in the back, I hear, Marty, that's just Marty. As he says, he comes back, very lovely, Jannetty, very nice. And Curt, man, you son of a bitch. But no, they were just, Verne Gagne was pissed off now. Nick's all upset because he was like shit on his picture. And he thinks I did because Curt sends him in there after he tells me to go in. But so Verne has this meeting and he tells us about the locks things. That was the main thing. Jesus Christ, locks, blah 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 blah. No more locks in the territory. You guys, no more ribs. I'm tired of this. You guys are a bunch of misfits. I got the worst people in the business. Blah 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 blah. Any more ribs? I'm firing you off. You're all fired. Shut the territory down. I don't care. I'll quit. I'll quit the business. No more. Absolutely not a single, and especially no more locks. That's it. Now this meeting's over. He goes and picks his bag up and it's locked. Somebody has reached around and locked it. During the meeting, they locked it to the damn desk. He's like, Jesus Christ, that's what I'm talking about. He punches the wall and busted his hand, goes running out the desk. And we're all, when he gets out the door, we all bust out laughing. Curt's like, what? What happened? Curt, Curt did something. What happened? I missed it. He's sitting right there, him and Tanaka. But then that night, then Nick comes in too. He, after Verne goes running out, Nick goes, you guys, I tell you what, no more with you. Just don't mess with the big, he calls himself the big buck. Don't be trying to rib the big buck. Do not rib. I'll just warn y'all one time. Do not rib the big buck. That night we had to drive about a 3-hour drive somewhere in Wisconsin. It was snowing. And we had our show and everything seemed to go off, with no problems. Then we're driving back. It was me, Curt, Shawn, Tanaka. We're in Curt's Blazer driving back. Nick had left. We stopped and got a couple of drinks somewhere or something. Nick left way ahead of us. Oftentimes you do pass each other going to the same town. We're all going back to Minneapolis from wherever we were in Wisconsin, maybe Green Bay or something, a 3-hour trip. But the thing was, it was a heavy snow. It was hard to drive that night. I mean, it was, you got to be real careful. And we seen Nick's car. We're coming up and we're like, wow, there's somebody watching. Nick should have been gone a long time ago. Curt's around and he starts laughing, which already that tells you something's up, right? So we're catching up with Nick's car and we're looking over and we're hearing this. What the hell? He's like, his car's gonna blow up or something. And Nick's like, he's driving like this. I mean, because like I said, it's the weather. He's like right near, and Curt's like, roll the window down. So rolls the window down. You hear this. Like, what the shit? Should we tell him his car's gonna? Curt goes, tea kettle effect. Look right there on his doorknob. On his doorknob is a lock, and it's just banging up against the side of the thing. And he goes, double effect. Look at the front, and his little hood ornament on the front had a lock, and they're just banging away on the car. So he goes, now watch this. He blows the horn, and Nick looks over at us. Nick's got these big ass glasses. You know, you're like, he looks over and there's a lock right in the middle of his glasses. He just looks at us and he's mad as hell. We just laugh. The whole carload died laughing to take off. But that was the big bug. He said, not the rib. And Nick actually come and got me back for that. He came and super glued my car, so the locks in it, and super glued them all shut. I guess he figured I did that because of the shit with Curt. But yeah, that was some of the stuff. Some of the ribs there, the AWA days that used to drive them a little bit crazy. It was all fun.
Did you guys respect Verne back then, or
there was a respect, but it was I mean, you had to respect him as when he was was he a national champion? Was he? He was. I mean, he was very high up there with in amateur wrestling, and what he'd done in the business too. You had to have that respect. Plus, he was the owner, promoter, or whatever. But it was just, like I said, just the way he treated some of the guys was disrespect. It was respect and it was disrespect, both.
Do you think that he could have done anything to save the company?
That would have been tough, man, because I think Vince was just buying just money unless Verne was going to try to match him, dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think he made a good effort to create new stars and give you guys the ball to take over for the guys
that might be what it was too, because he kind of was stuck with wanting to keep everything 50-60 style with what was successful then. I mean, he didn't see the change coming. Basically, it was a change and he didn't see it or he didn't agree with it. And like our thing was as far out as he was going to go, with us doing the rock and roll, high flying, high energy, crazy stuff. Like I said, the Road Warriors, I mean, that was too much for them. I guess that's why they took off. There was they had the kick-ass character, and maybe he didn't like that they didn't sell enough or whatever it was.